Welcome to another deep dive, everybody. You know those contact forms you have on your website? Well, today we're going to show you how to turn those into a secret weapon for growing your small business.
And we're going to focus specifically on WordPress because, well, that's what most small businesses in Australia are using, right?
Exactly. Our main source material for this deep dive is an awesome guide from Now Technology Systems. They're a web design company based right here in Australia.
Yeah, they really know their stuff when it comes to WordPress and getting the most out of those contact forms.
So imagine this. You're a small business owner, you've got your website up and running, people are visiting, but you're not quite sure how to turn those visitors into loyal customers.
Well, that's where contact forms come in. It's like that first step, that initial point of contact where someone's saying, hey, I'm interested in what you're offering.
But it's not enough to just have a contact form sitting there on your website. You need to do something with that data, right? Like actually save it and use it.
Otherwise, it's like those business cards you collect at a networking event and then just shove it in a drawer somewhere.
Totally. So let's talk about how to save that data and, more importantly, what to do with it.
The great thing about WordPress is it's super easy, even if you're not a tech expert. WordPress has these things called plugins, which are basically like apps for your website.
Yeah, and there are tons of plugins specifically designed to help you manage your contact forms.
Right, and they can do all sorts of cool things like save your submissions to something called a database.
Okay, database. Now, that might sound a little scary or technical, but stick with us.
Think of it like a giant, well-organized spreadsheet where all your website's information is stored, including those valuable contact form submissions.
So instead of having those submissions scattered in your inbox or lost in some random spreadsheet,
You've got them all in one central, easy-to-access location.
Now, you mentioned plugins. What are some of the popular options for contact forms in WordPress?
Oh, there are heaps, but some of the most popular ones are WPForms, Contact Form 7, and Ninja Forms.
Okay, so which one should you choose? What are the pros and cons of each?
Well, WPForms is known for being super user-friendly. Even if you're not tech-savvy at all, you can easily create forms using their drag-and-drop interface.
Drag and drop. Love it. What about the other two?
Contact Form 7 is a bit more, I guess you could say, bare bones. It's really flexible and customizable, but it might require a bit more technical know-how to get the most out of it.
So for the more adventurous types who like to tinker a bit.
Exactly. And then there's Ninja Forms, which kind of falls somewhere in between WPForms and Contact Form 7.
A good middle ground.
Yeah, user-friendly, but also with a good range of features.
Sounds like there's something for everyone. But no matter which plugin you choose, the key takeaway here is
Save those contact form submissions. They're packed with valuable information about your potential customers.
right, because if you're not saving them, it's basically like throwing money down the drain.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, the article from Now Technology Systems breaks down the process of saving your submissions into 3 simple steps.
The first step is pretty straightforward. Install the plugin. You just head over to the plugins section in your WordPress dashboard, search for the one you want, and click Install. Done.
Easy peasy. What about step 2?
Step 2 is to enable the data-saving features of the plugin. Some have it built in, while others might need a little add-on.
So for example, with WPForms, you'd need to install their Save Submissions add-on to start storing those entries in your database.
Bingo. And that brings us to step 3. This is where the real magic happens. Step 3 is all about managing and monitoring the data you've collected.
So it's not just a set it and forget it type of thing.
Definitely not. You need to organize it, analyze it, and most importantly, use it to actually improve your business. And that's where things get really interesting.
I'm eager to hear more about that. But before we dive into the how, I think it's crucial to address the where. We've been talking about saving data to a database, but what exactly is that and how does it work? Especially for those who might not be super techy.
You're right. We should break that down a bit. Think of a database like, a giant, super organized spreadsheet. It's got rows and columns, and each cell contains a specific piece of information.
So when you save a contact form submission to your database, you're basically adding a new row to that spreadsheet.
Exactly. And each column represents a different field from your contact form, like name, email, phone number, all that good stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. So instead of having all those submissions scattered all over the place, you've got them neatly organized in this database.
Right, and what's really cool is that databases allow you to easily sort, filter, and analyze all that data. You can search for specific entries, group them by different criteria, even generate reports to get a bird's-eye view of your customer interactions.
So much easier than trying to sift through a mountain of emails or spreadsheets.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to the really exciting part, the benefits of harnessing all this data. But I think we'll save that for the next part of our deep dive.
Yeah, let's take a quick pause and come back to explore how this data can actually transform your business.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork. We know why contact form data is important and how to save it on your WordPress site using plugins and a database. But now the burning question. How can you actually use this data to make a real difference in your business?
All right, well, first off, think about personalization. Imagine you could tailor your communication to each person who contacts you through your website.
So instead of sending out those generic one-size-fits-all responses,
You can create messages that are specifically relevant to their inquiry or even their past interactions with your business.
I see. So let's say someone fills out my contact form asking about my, catering services.
Perfect example. You can send them a follow-up email with, say, a personalized menu or a special offer tailored just for them.
And I wouldn't have to scramble through my emails or notes trying to remember what they'd asked about before.
Nope. All that information would be right there in your database, organized and easy to access.
Okay, so that's personalized service. Customers love that. What else can we do with this data?
Well, how about marketing? This data can be a game changer for your marketing campaigns.
In what way?
Think about it. Instead of blasting out mass emails that might not even be relevant to half the people on your list.
You can segment your audience based on their interests or needs.
Precisely. And you can figure out those interests and needs based on, you guessed it, their contact form submissions.
Okay, I'm following you. So let's say I'm a florist, and I notice a lot of people are asking about wedding arrangements through my contact form.
Then boom, you've got a targeted audience right there. You can create an email campaign specifically for brides-to-be, showing off your wedding packages, maybe offering a special discount.
And because I know they're interested in weddings, they're much more likely to actually open and engage with that email.
Way more likely. And you can even take it a step further and personalize those emails based on, specific details they might have mentioned in their submission.
So if someone mentioned they're planning a rustic-themed wedding, I could showcase arrangements that fit that aesthetic.
Now you're getting it. It's all about making your marketing more efficient and effective.
Reaching the right people with the right message at the right time.
Bingo. And the best part is, all this data is coming straight from your potential customers. They're literally telling you what they want.
It's like they're handing us a cheat sheet.
Pretty much. Now, aside from customer service and marketing, there's another area where this data can be really valuable, and that's regulatory compliance.
Right, we talked about the Australian privacy principles earlier.
The APPs.
Yes, the APPs. And how important it is to handle personal information responsibly. So how does saving contact form data help with that?
Well, by having a system in place for saving and managing that data, you can actually demonstrate that you're taking data privacy seriously.
Makes sense. So it's not just about collecting the data, it's about having a clear process for storing it securely and using it appropriately.
Exactly. It builds trust with your customers because they know you're respecting their information and not just, throwing it around willy-nilly.
And speaking of respecting information, the article we're discussing today is from Now Technology Systems, an Australian company that's all about helping businesses make the most of their WordPress sites.
Yeah, they're a great resource for Aussie businesses, especially those who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by the tech side of things.
Because let's face it, not everyone's a web developer, so what kind of services do they offer?
Well, they do web design, WordPress support, and even data compliance expertise.
So they can help you set up your contact forms, make sure you're following all the privacy regulations, the whole 9 yards.
Yep. It's like a one-stop shop for all your WordPress and data needs.
Handy. Now, Technology Systems sounds like a fantastic resource, I think it's important to point out that you don't necessarily need to outsource all of this.
Oh, absolutely. With a little effort and the right tools, you can definitely manage your contact form data yourself and reap the rewards.
It's empowering, really. You don't need to be a tech wizard to take control of your data and use it to grow your business.
Exactly. And that brings us to a really crucial point, the importance of taking action. It's not enough to just collect the data. You've got to actually do something with it.
So it's not just about having a fancy database sitting there. It's about analyzing the information, looking for patterns, and then turning those insights into real action steps.
That's it. Let's say you're a dog groomer, and you notice through your contact form that a lot of people are asking about mobile grooming services.
Light bulb moment. That's a clear sign there's demand for that service in my area.
Right. You could then consider adding mobile grooming to your offerings, tap into a whole new customer base.
All thanks to paying attention to my contact form data. It's like having a direct line to what my customers actually want.
That's the power of data. And, it doesn't have to be super complicated. Even simple things like keeping a spreadsheet of common questions or feedback you're getting can reveal valuable insights.
So, to sum it up, contact form data is a goldmine for small businesses. By saving it, managing it, and analyzing it effectively,
You can enhance your customer relationships, streamline your marketing, make sure you're ticking all the boxes when it comes to those Australian regulations.
and ultimately make smarter decisions that help your business thrive.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up and dive into some real-world examples of Aussie businesses using contact form data in creative ways.
I want to hear from you. What are some of the biggest challenges you face when it comes to managing your customer interactions? Are you using your contact form data to its full potential? Let us know. All right, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about why contact form data is so valuable, how to save it, and all the amazing things you can do with it.
Yeah, but now I think it's time to, really bring it to life with some real-world examples. I've got a few in mind if you're ready.
Hit me with them. I'm all ears.
Okay, so picture this. You're running a small independent bookstore,
Okay, love it. Already cozying up in my mind.
and you start noticing through your contact form that, heaps of people are asking if you host book clubs or author events.
I see where you're going with this. So instead of just responding to each inquiry individually, the bookstore owner could see that as a sign, a signal.
Exactly. A sign that there's a real hunger in the community for that kind of thing.
So they could start hosting events, maybe even partner with local authors?
Right. Turn those individual inquiries into a chance to really connect with their customers and build a vibrant community around their store.
And probably boost their business in the process.
Oh, for sure. Okay, here's another one. Imagine a personal trainer.
All right, getting my workout gear on, metaphorically speaking, of course.
They're using their contact form to collect information about their clients, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Like their fitness goals, maybe any injuries they have, preferred workout styles, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So now, instead of just giving generic advice, they can create personalized workout plans for each client.
So it's all about tailoring the experience, making each client feel seen and understood.
That's the beauty of it. And, these are just a couple of examples.
Right. And the key takeaway here is that even small businesses, even without a massive budget or fancy software,
Can really benefit from taking a data-driven approach.
just by paying attention to the information people are already giving you through those contact forms.
You can uncover those golden nuggets of insight and make smarter decisions about everything from your marketing to your product development.
To your overall customer experience.
Exactly. It's like those contact forms are more than just a way to collect information.
Yeah, they're a way to start a conversation, to build a relationship.
And at the end of the day, that's what business is all about, right? Connecting with people, understanding their needs, and creating something truly valuable.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. Data is powerful, but it's not just about numbers and statistics.
And it's about people.
Their stories, their experiences, their aspirations.
And by listening to those stories, those voices coming through your contact forms,
You can build stronger relationships, create more meaningful experiences for your customers, and ultimately build a business that you're truly proud of.
one that feels authentic and aligned with your values.
Now, that's a message worth spreading. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of WordPress contact forms and their incredible potential. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those questions coming.